Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the weekly vlog and Bible study. My name is Brianna. Here's the weekly vlog.
Hi, Chloe. Hi. Where are we? We're in California Adventure. Yes. Where are we? We're on Flip Flyer. All this protection. Oh my god. She's so scared. Oh my god. How was it? How was it?
We are fighting on the great. All up and ready, bring the sing. We promise.
We're skipping! And we're running again, now we're skipping!
And now it's time for disclaimer before we begin. I am not saying that someone has leprosy because they sinned. I am saying that in the Bible, leprosy is a representation of sin. Okay, let's get started. Luke 17:11-19. On the way to Jerusalem, he, meaning Jesus, was passing along between Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered a village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance, and lifted up their voices, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When he saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice, and he fell on his face at Jesus' feet, giving him thanks. Now he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus answered, "Were not 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" And he said to him, "Rise and go your way. Your faith has made you well." Today is part 1 of 2, and we're just looking at verses 11-14, but I read the whole thing just for fun. First, we have to talk about leprosy, now called Hansen's disease. Leprosy is a very horrible disease that was very common back then. It starts as a small blemish on the skin and grows to cover the whole body with discolored and painful bumps. It disfigures the body and the face and causes nerve damage, which can cause a person not to be able to blink, which means they become blind, not be able to move their fingers, which means they can't grab anything, and in time it can cripple someone by locking their ankles into place. Along with leprosy came a ton of laws to follow. If you had the disease, you had to walk around saying, "Unclean, unclean," and were shut out of the town in isolation or with other lepers until you were cleansed of the disease. Nobody would come near you in fear of catching the disease, which meant families were torn apart and relationships broken. Side note, it was almost universally known back then that only God could cure the disease because it was so bad. Back to the text. I want you to picture this scene. Jesus is walking along and he sees 10 people dying on the side of the road. Their faces and bodies are disfigured and covered in painful bumps. And in weak, raspy voices, they call out to him, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." Now picture yourself as one of those lepers. You have been torn away from your family. This disease has ruined your life. You feel there's no hope for you and you just want to give up. You see, leprosy in the Bible is also a representation of sin. That's why it says cleansed instead of healed. They both start out small, but each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. One little white lie. One time you disobey your parents. One click. One drink. Another lie. Why not? One night. Another click. 2 drinks. And another and another and another. And pretty soon you become blind. You become crippled by your shame and your guilt. All you have are broken relationships and you are in isolation. I want to tell you or remind you that there is someone who can save you. There is someone who took the wrath you deserve and put it on himself. Jesus died so that all of your shame, all of your guilt, and all of your sin can be washed away for good. Jesus saw you as that leper on the side of the road, covered in sin. But he can heal you, and he wants to. Call out to him. On the other side of this, sometimes we forget we were or are that leper. I'm a pretty good person. I mean, I make mistakes, but I'm not horrible. Well, sin is sin, and all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. No matter how good we think we are all in need of a Savior. We cannot cure ourselves of this sin disease on our own. God cleanses you of your sin, restores relationships, and brings you into His family. Call out to Him. Alright, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next week for part 2. Bye! My little bookmark. Luke 17, 11 to 19. I'm just gonna start over. There's hair all over me. Be able to move their fingers. I hit the mic. It disfigures the face. This is not my face. This is not my body. This is my body, my face. Okay. I just spit at the microphone. One night. I always forget the night. It's night. Who noticed it got dark outside? Oops.